back to the channel, guys. Today we are doing some Magic the Gathering Arena pack opening. Say the new set Kaldheim is actually released on Arena today, I believe, whenever I'm recording this video on the 28th. So I figured I'd go through and do some pack openings and show you guys kind of what the set looks like, talk about some of the cards. You know, it's supposedly the most metal set that has come out yet. So we're gonna open some packs. I think I'm gonna do probably the first 10 I'll just open individually so you can see all the cards, commons, uncommons, and rares, and mythics, and all that stuff. Then I may just do this open 10 function so you can just see the rares and the mythics. Also trying to keep the video a little bit shorter. So let's open our first pack. Every card is going to be new. So exile creature from your graveyard. 5 mana, that's a lot. Ooh, I forgot they brought back the snow feature. And so there's certain lands and creatures and artifacts and enchantments that are snow versions or whatever. And so you pay mana from a snow source, which is the snow lands. And so it's just an alternate mana source to pay stuff with, I guess. But 2 mana, 1/2 flying, draw a card, then discard a card. That's pretty good. Sacrifice a creature, draw 2. That's for 1 mana. That's pretty good. So the owner put a card on top of somebody's library or return it to their hand. Then we got return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So an elf, create 2. That's pretty good for like an elf deck. What does Foretell do? You may pay. Oh, okay. So that's actually a new feature that I haven't seen before with Magic, is Foretell. And so what it is you pay the 2 mana. So you have it in your hand. Have like holding cards. Sorry, I got some loose cards here. Holding cards in your hand. I really like Magic, paper Magic too. But you hold cards in your hand, you pay the 2 mana, and you foretell something, so you lay it face down, and then I guess you exile it face down, and then on a later turn, so like the next turn something, you can pay the foretell cost, which is that 3 mana and a black mana. You can pay that foretell cost to cast it versus the 4 mana and a black mana, so it's a little bit cheaper. Dwarven Hammer, enter the battlefield. You may pay 2. If you do, create a Dwarf Berserker and attach this to it. So we could be a 5/1 Dwarf Berserker with Trample. That's pretty good too for 3 mana. And let's look at our... Oh, awesome. Very first pack, we got a God. That's dope. And so you can, with flip side cards like this, you can play either side. So I got Halvar, God of Battle, 4 mana white God. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. At the beginning of each combat, pay, or you may attach target or equipment attached to a creature you control to a target creature. So you can swap stuff. If you play a card you really like, but you have something attached to a different creature, you can, essentially this guy's ability lets you attach it to the other one for free. But just 1 aura or equipment per combat. And then the backside is the legendary artifact equipment. The equipped creature gets +2/+0. It has vigilance. Whenever the creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. That's a pretty good feature. So either way, you're paying 4 mana to play this card. It's pretty good. First, we got a mythic on our first one. That's pretty good. Let's open another one. Might do 5 packs since I'm going in and describing and reading them and everything. So we got another one of those. 2 mana, 2/1. Whenever it dies, create a 1/1. That's pretty good. 2 mana gets +3/+3 against trample. That's pretty good. 3 mana, 3/2 with haste. 2 mana and 2 to equip. Gets +1/+0. It has flying. Eh. Rune of Mortality. 2 mana enchant permanent. When Rune of Mortality is about to draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has death touch. As long as enchanted permanent and equipment has equipped creature has death touch. Okay, so it's a 2 mana. You get to draw a card whenever it enters, and then it gives whatever it's on death touch. But that's cool. You can equip a creature, or you can equip an equipment. Since it's a rune. 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you activate a boast ability, put a 1/1 counter on Frenzied Raider. I haven't run into a boast card yet, but we'll get into that mechanic a little bit later. Okay, awesome. 2 mana 3/1. Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, draw a card, lose life. Wow, that's pretty good. Goes well with that. That's a berserker. That's pretty good. Alright, go on to the next pack. Okay, awesome. We got our first Snowland. Ooh, I really like that they did these Snowlands as commons, obviously, but also as dual lands. So yes, it enters the battlefield tapped like most dual lands do, but you get to add red or black, and it's a snow source. Mammoth Growth 3 mana, gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Oh, you can foretell this. So maybe if you have 2 mana during your end phase, or during your main phase 2, lay it down for its foretell cost, and then that way on your next turn, or you can use it as kind of like a interrupt on somebody else's turn and just pay 1 so you only need to keep 1 green mana open versus 3 mana open. So that's pretty good. Another Snowland. There's battlefield tapped. Choose a color. 1 mana of the chosen color. That's pretty good. Mill 3 cards, then return a land card or elf card from your graveyard to your hand if you can't draw a card. Okay, and 2 mana, that's not bad. I don't like them. I've never been a real big fan of the self-mill, unless you're playing a self-mill deck. That gives you a self-mill win condition. But then we got another one of those. For oh, okay, here's that's still the foretell ability. 4 mana, 2/3 with flying, death touch, and haste. That's pretty good, and it does have that foretell ability. So 2 mana this turn, 2 mana another turn, versus 4 mana on 1 turn. Then we got the Raven's Warning. So whenever you play it, it starts at the top saga. Create a 1/1 bluebird creature token with flying. You gain 2 life. Then next turn, beginning of your upkeep, it goes to the second saga, which is whenever 1 or more creatures you control fly deal combat damage to a player this turn. Look at that player's hand, and you get to draw a card. And then the next turn, the third saga goes. You may put a card you own from outside of the game on top of your library. That's not bad for 3 mana. That's pretty good, especially if you have a blue-white bird deck. So with that second ability, you only get to draw 1, not draw a card per creature. This says when 1 or more creatures you control flying deal combat damage to a player. But still, it's pretty good. 3 mana. And you get to put a card you own from exile, or a card you own from outside of the game, on top of your library. So not only do you get your 60 card deck, but you also get that 15 sideboard. Not bad. Open a couple more. Okay, so we got the Sinkhole, the Swamp Plains. This is really good for ramp. Sculptor of Winter, 2 mana 2/2, and you can untap target Snowland. So we got the X card, Cavalry, Dwarf Berserker, target creature gains haste. 2 mana 2/2, 2 mana 2/2. 3 mana, 5 damage to target tapped creature with that foretell is really, really good. 4 mana 3/3. Frostpeak Yeti can't be blocked. Use the snow source. Okay, already got Dwarven Hammer. Invasion of the Giants, 2 mana. So, first saga is you scry 2. Second saga is draw a card, then you may reveal a giant card from your hand. When you do Invasion of the Giants, steals 2 mana to target your opponent or planeswalker. And then on the third turn, the next giant spell you cast this turn costs 2 less. That's eh. Okay, awesome. We actually got the Nico Aris, which is something you could have got for free if you had pre-ordered both the packs and the other one, which is like the Mastery Pass and everything. I only pre-ordered the packs because I figured you could get this in the packs, so there was no reason to pre-order. Plus, I really liked Kaya's ability versus Nico's ability. But it's a 3 mana plus X. X is however much you want to pay for it. When it enters the battlefield, create X shard tokens. So that's the X cost. Then +1, so it starts at 3 loyalty. +1 loyalty up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever it deals damage this turn, return it to its owner's hand. -1, Nico Aris deals 2 damage to target tapped creature for each card you've drawn this turn. And then -1, create a shard token. The shard token is you can tap 2, sacrifice it, scry 1, and draw a card. Oh, that's pretty good. So it's a 2 mana opt versus a 1 mana opt, but with the X there, you could spend all of your mana and create 10 of these shards, and now you're set. You get to scry 1 and then draw. Scry 1 and then draw 10 times, as long as you have the mana for it. So that's not that bad. It's a pretty good ability. All around, I'm liking this set so far. Alright, we got blue-red. 2 mana, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Has the foretell ability. Which, I don't know why the foretell would be better here. Just because you have to pay 2 mana. So maybe if you don't have a blue mana, and you have 2 of a different kind of mana, that'd be good, because then you just need 1 blue mana on a different turn to do it. I can see that working. 1 mana, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, if it was second spell you cast a turn, put 1 counter on target creature. That's okay. 2 mana. Choose 1 target creature card here to your hand. Return 2 target creature cards that share creature from your hand. Oh, that's pretty good. Especially if you're running like a mono black elf deck or something like that. That'd work. Hit. 2 mana 1/3 with Death Touch. That's already pretty good. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Okay, so poison counters are... So this is actually phenomenal. This makes me want to create a Death Touch deck with 4 copies of this in there, because poison counters are the exact same thing as infect, from what I'm reading. And so what infect was an old mechanic to where if a creature had infect, for every damage it dealt an infect counter. And so if you had 10 or more infect counters, that person loses the game versus the 20 life you had to deal damage to. So this actually makes me want to create a Death Touch deck now. So you may see a Death Touch deck with Finn, the Fangbearer, in it, trying to do essentially infect. It was a really cool mechanic. 3 mana. So first and second turn you put a 1/1 counter up to 1 target creature, and then third turn you exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. That's not bad. But let's see what our rare / mythic is. Ooh, we got another god. Awesome. This is 5 mana, 4/5 with menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Ooh, I like this, because you could use this in a deck with that makes somebody discard stuff. So everything they discard, I have the ability to put from their graveyard onto my battlefield. That's phenomenal. I'm really liking this Kaldheim set. It's yeah, it's looking pretty good. On the flip side, you have the legendary artifact for 4 mana. It's not an artifact that you could equip to something, it's just an artifact that sits on the field. But you tap it, target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice an online permanent or discard a card. So I'm curious, like, if how like the flip one, like if this just works like every other flip card where you play one side or the other, or if there's a way to play both, because it seems like the legendary artifact or the thing on the back side of the god always works really, really well with the god. And then you can pay 4 mana to untap the lantern, so you can essentially do that multiple times. That's pretty good. But the Rune of Might, another rune. So enchant permanent. When enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as it's a creature, it gets +1/+1 trample. If it's an equipment, it has equipped creature gets +1/+1 trample. So 2 mana, enchant something, give it +1/+1 trample. Whether you put it on an equipment or the creature itself, be kind of. I'm really feeling like these runes would be a lot better on the equipment. Because if you put it on the equipment, then it sticks with the equipment unless somebody destroys the equipment. Because if somebody destroys the creature, the equipment stays on the battlefield, which means the rune stays on the battlefield. But if you put the rune on the creature, then the minute the creature dies, the equipment stays, but the rune and the creature dies. So it'd definitely be better to put these on equipment, as long as somebody's not running, you know, equipment or artifact or enchantment removal, a lot of that. I got another god. Let's go. Another black god. So 3 mana 6/6 with Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you can't, sacrifice it and draw a card. Okay. That's a little give and take. So yes, it's 3 mana for a 6/6 with Death Touch, which is really like phenomenal. Like that's god tier, one might say. But it does have that stipulation where you have to exile 2 cards from your graveyard, so you always have to constantly keep stuff in your graveyard. So that's where the self-mill would come in handy. And then the artifact with 1 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. And then 3 mana, tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard, draw a card. So let's look at the rare/mythic. Ooh, a shapeshifter. 3 mana 2/3 with changeling. So that means it's every creature type. So they could also, if you wanted to, I don't remember, blue, green, red. I don't remember what coloration that's called. But you can make one of those with changelings, and it's also a giant wizard now. So as it enters battlefield, choose a creature type. You look at the top card of your library at a time. Craft creature puzzle that chosen type from the. That's really good. This card will go good in any deck. Because, especially if you're running like an elf deck, or a human deck, or a god deck, you know, you're running any of those, then you can throw 4 copies of this in there. You draw one of these, you slap it down. You know, it costs 3 mana. So you choose whatever creature type it is you're playing, whether it's say elves. Now you get to look at the top card of your library, and if it's elf, you can cast it. So now you're playing creatures off the top of your library. You don't have to have them in your hand. So that lets you get through your deck a lot. That lets you build a really big board. So this would actually work with these guys, because these are the first 2 giant wizards I've seen. So if they're all high cost like this, then it wouldn't really work. But if there's some low-costing giant wizards, then you could just spam those out, and then this is now a phenomenal card. But I really, really like Realm Walker, so happy I got that one. Spirit of Aldergard. 4 mana, 0/4 Bear Spirit. When it enters battlefield, search the library for a snowland card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle for each other snow Ooh, that's really good. We could create a snow deck, essentially, because I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other cards that have snow permanent abilities, you know, that you could pair this with. And so if every card in your deck is a snow permanent, then this thing gets out of hand quick. So let's see what so it's really nice we got a second copy of this, because I pre-ordered the packs It gave me 1 copy as well as the card style, but now I have 2 copies, so I don't have to spend my wild cards to get more copies, so I'm actually okay with that. But I'm going to go over with it. I actually truly really enjoy Kaya the Inexorable. So it's a 5 mana with 5 loyalty, start out with. +1, put a ghost form counter on up to 1 target creature. That ghost form counter is that when it dies or is put into exile, return it to its owner's hand and you create a 1/1 white spirit token with flying. So not only do you get the card back, but you get a substitute 1/1 white spirit with flying token. -3 is exile target non-land permanent. Phenomenal. And then -7 is you get an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. You may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards you own in exile without paying its mana cost. This is going to go phenomenal in my legendary brawl deck that you guys have seen, because I throw one of these in there. Every single card in that deck is a legendary. So that means if I get that emblem out there, I put that ghost form counter on stuff, and I chump block to keep her alive and everything. If I get that emblem, then at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to cast a legendary spell from my hand, from my graveyard, or from those in exile without paying its mana cost. I get a free legendary spell, any of them. That could be one of my big guys. That could be a Circle of Loyalty. That could be the Great Henge. That could be the blue one, the Mirror, that lets me just continuously keep drawing more cards. And if I get more cards, then that emblem gets even better, because now I get a choice of what I want to play. So Kaya the Inexorable is phenomenal. I really, really like her. Ooh, another god. So as long as you control 3 or more legendary creatures, Club 4, he gets +4/+2 and has Vigilance. Look at the top 6 cards. So 2 mana, tap it. It's a 4 mana 2/4. 2 mana, tap it. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Reveal a legendary creature card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. That'll be nice in my legendary brawl deck too. As the reincarnate. So then the artifact, 2 mana. Enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. Tap it for 3 mana. Spend it only to cast a creature type of the chosen, or a legendary creature spell. That's going in the legendary deck as well. 3 mana 2/4. Whenever another angel or cleric. That's nice. That'll go really well in my standard cleric deck. As long as you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, creatures you can go. Ooh, that'll go really nice in my cleric deck, because it's all creatures get +2/+2. Oh, this is the first time I've seen one of these. It's a 3 mana or 3 color god. So Jorn, God of Winter. It's a snow creature god for green mana. Whenever it attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. That'd be really nice in a snow deck. On the back side, for black, blue, and another one, you get the artifact, which is tap it. You may play target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. So I think I'm gonna make me a snow deck. We're gonna have Christmas come a second time this year. Ooh, this is a 5 mana god. Asika, God of the Tree. Green mana on one side for the god, with Vigilance tapped, add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and tap to add mana. Or the 5 mana enchantment for the Prismatic Bridge, which is at the beginning of your upkeep. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library. That's really nice. This is definitely going in the legendary. I'm going to have to completely redo the legendary brawl deck now. That is all of the packs. It's a nice, good look at the Kaldheim set. You got to see a bunch of different rares and mythics. You got to see a bunch of different commons and uncommons and everything. So, yeah. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the commentary that I had on some of the cards, and that kind of helps bring insight into what you want to do with the Kaldheim set. So, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.